Hi guys, this is Addison at Fort Stewart, and today we're going to talk about the Whale Owl Carousel. That is a tongue twister for me, guys. Okay, before we get started, let's go ahead and figure out if you even have the Whale Owl Carousel block. So go to your dashboard and go to Extend Concrete 5. And then look in this list. If the Whale Owl Carousel is in this list, that means it's currently installed. If it's down here in awaiting installation, all you have to do is click install. And if you don't have it here, get it from the marketplace or call Neil or Shelby. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you click install. First of all, you will notice in your file manager that you have like a bunch of random photos that you didn't put there. You will also notice that you have underneath files a new little button right here that says Whale Owl Carousel. So we'll get back to that, okay? That's what happens when you click install. So don't be surprised when you have a bunch of random photos in your in your file manager. Okay. The reason a bunch of photos are installed with the Whale Owl Carousel is because it comes with these really awesome little demos. So these are carousels that are already put together and just for you to see. This is an example of the one that's called just demo. Okay. This is the one that's labeled caption with background color. Got little arrows. Oh yeah, so cool. Transitions. This is the one that's labeled full screen. It's the largest image slider ever. Yeah, okay. And this is the one labeled demo slider. And this one has the little button, and we'll get back to that. I personally use my Whale Owl Carousel for mostly my home slider. And I actually have the home slider on the Garrison page and the third ID page. So that way when we get a new Sergeant Major or, here we go, the TAC Center opens, I can put that on my most popular pages. I also use it for the Warriors Walk page. I've got about 400 photos on just this page alone. So I use a bunch of Whale Owl carousels to add them, okay? We're also going to talk about this little loading thing, okay? All right, let me get back over here. So when you try to click and drag the Whale Owl carousel, you will notice that you cannot edit it on the page. Here, I'll show you what happens. Okay, so you can't add it, or edit it. You only can select which carousel you want to show. Okay, it's a lot like the calendar. We have to edit our Whale Owl carousel in the dashboard. So go to your files and then go to Whale Owl Carousel. And it's going to give you a little home screen of all of your sliders. You can see I have a lot of those Warriors Walk ones. But the ones that you have right now are these, the demo slider, the captions, the full screen, and the demo. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's look at the demo. Let's check it out. Okay. So each one of these boxes is a different image slide. Okay. So first let's talk about what's in this menu. Number one, oh, excuse me, I burped. Excuse me. Okay. First of all, let's pick the photo, right? All you have to do is click in this little box right here, and it'll take you to your file manager, and you can select your photo. You can also have captions. You don't have to have captions, but a caption is any kind of text that's on the slider, anything that's on the image or below it. Okay, so any text that's associated with the photos is a caption. So you can say, I want the caption below, like I want the text below it. I want it top left, top right, whatever you want. Okay. The next one is how you want the text to be aligned. So for example, this is all left aligned. This is center aligned. Okay. This one's the padding. So if you want a little bit of space between the outside of the like box and the text, you can do that. And then you can put some animation in there too. And we'll talk more about the animation. You can see a little bit more. But just note that everything that you're editing in this block, within this little green thing, okay, only pertains to that slide, okay? Now you have more options here. If you click this little down button, okay, oh, look at that. You have all of these little other buttons you can do. So the main one you might be interested in is the URL. So you can make whatever you want be a link for the images. So for example, on my home slider, I have the whole image is clickable, okay? But on this, the only thing that's clickable is the button, okay? So this is where we tell the Whale Owl Carousel what we want. So I can either select slide or button, okay? Notice this, I can't fill anything out right now because I have it on slide, but if I switch it to button, I tell Whale Owl Carousel what I want it to say. So buy or learn more, something like that, okay? We'll just switch it back to slide. Now, this is you telling the carousel, is your link internal or external? So internal, you can choose a page and it'll take you to your sitemap. For external, you're going to just copy and paste this link. Now, the target. Do you want it to open in a new window? Okay. If it's an external link, you should 100% have it open in a different window. That way the user can keep, their place on your home page. If not, I usually just have it, no, it can stay the same window. That's fine. Okay. Slide image size. Guys, I'm going to go back to what I said about the image slider, where if you're uploading a photo onto a slider, you should be uploading it in the size that you want it to show on desktop, okay? If you have, a slider and you want them all to look the same, go ahead and take the time to make them all the same size. Actually, here I'll show you. For my image sliders, I just made one of Command Star Major Coffee, so let me get to my downloads, and I'll tell you exactly how big they are. Here we go. Okay, so for all of my home sliders, they are 1400 by 425. Okay, so just to give you a starting point, you obviously don't have to keep those. They can be bigger or smaller or whatever, but that's my size. Okay. Okay. The item background color is this. So this teal color is what coordinates with the item background color. And then you can say whether or not it's active. So if you unclick this and this is, these are all striped and you update it, that blue slide would go away because you've inactivated it, okay? So same thing goes with all of these. You need a different block for every single one of your photos, okay? And let's see, so here, let me talk about this. So this one's for title and this one's for description. And if you have specific titles and descriptions already on your images in your file manager, you can simply just click this and it'll all just, populate automatically. Super high speed. However, if you have gone through and you've like manually typed your headers and your descriptions and that kind of stuff, and then you click this, it will get rid of all of that and it will replace it with the file names. Okay, so just be careful on that one, guys. The slider in this description also, let me show you. This is the title and this is the description. Okay, so just you can. It's all about customization. You can choose what header you want them to be here and that kind of stuff. And then you simply add a new slide here. Now, for the order of the slides, all you have to do is click and drag. So let's say I want this one to be first. I just click this and I move it up. Did I do it? No. Hold on. It's very simple, I promise. Did I do it? I did it. Cool. All right, so you just move them up and down, back and forth. Too easy. Um, okay, so let's go over to the actual carousel. Okay, so before, these are all just individual slide settings, okay? These are for the whole carousel. So name, whatever you wanted to name it. For the theme, you've only got owl for right now. I think you can buy more themes, but I'm not really sure. Okay. Um, this is asking, do you want to show the title and do you want to show the description? So do you want it to show this and do you want it to show this? Yes or no? Okay, that's what these are. The extra text is anything that you put in this extra text over here. Slider extra text. Okay. Single item, that's if you're displaying only one slider at a time. So this is single item. Okay, so is this. Responsive caption, this means do you want the caption to get smaller on with like smaller window sizes? And I would suggest yes, but just as a caution, I have hidden my sliders in mobile just because they're not necessary to the content and they kind of slow down the load size. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't think these belong in mobile. I think the person should get right to the content. So that's just me. Okay, items. This is how many pictures you want displayed at one time. So this one's set to 5. So that's telling Whale Owl Carousel, show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that this one is set to 1. This one, all of my Warriors Walk are set to 6. Show 6 at a time. And then the rest of these are how many you want to show on different screen sizes. So that's totally up to you. It really just depends on how many you have, and then you just kind of have to kind of play around with it, move your windows back and forth, and look at it. Okay. Okay. Autoplay is anything that is automatically playing. So this one is 0 because look, this isn't moving. Okay. This is not moving, right? But this one is, I think it's set to 5,000 milliseconds, I think. I can't remember. We'll look at it in a second. But this one is set to autoplay. So if we just sit here for a second, we'll see that, yep, it moves. Okay. All right. You can also show a progress bar at the bottom. And this is that's the progress bar. Stop on hover. So if you have an image slider that is auto playing, okay, like the one that we have right here, I have this stop on hover. And what that means is when someone moves their cursor over the image, it stops the playing, okay? I like this because it gives the reader or the user a chance to click on something, to read something, and then they can move it over, and then it will start over again. Just wait for it. It's coming. Well, I don't have time to do that, but it's coming, okay? Next, previous buttons. That's these right here, okay? Next and previous. Bullets for pagination, so that's these down here, okay, showing you can go back and forth. All right, you can show numbers as well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead of the little circles. Rewind nav. Okay, let me explain something about the Whale Owl Carousel. So this is the first image, right? This is the last image. So if I had this on autoplay and I were to move it to the left, you would imagine that it would start showing touch, right? It would start showing this one. It would be over here. It doesn't do that. It doesn't go in a circle like a real carousel. Can you guys, if you guys can see there we go, my cursor. Okay. This is what it does. It goes around and then it goes back. and then it goes around, and it goes back. So unfortunately, there's no way to change that. So what rewind nav is if you get to the last slide and you want your carousel to restart, then you would click rewind nav. Okay. If it gets to the end of one, you don't want it to keep going, then you just click that and you unclick this and it will just stop when it gets to the last image. Scroll per page, that has to do more with your next previous buttons, and you'll be able to play with that. And then you can randomize the slides. So if you have a big image gallery that you're playing and you want it to look different every time someone goes to the page, you can click that. So that's kind of fun. You can select that. Okay, so let's go to the advanced options. Item scale up. This has to do with the stretching of the images. Like I said, guys, upload your images in the size that you want, okay? And they should all be the same size. Okay, slide speed. So this is how fast you want your image slider to play, okay? And this is all really just personal preference. And it's all exactly what you think it is, except the rewind speed is, how I told you, it goes this way and then it goes this way and then goes this way, and goes back. Well, the rewind speed is when it gets over here, how fast it gets to the front. Really, this is more of a matter of how many images you've got on there and what you're using it for, and so you just play around with it. Okay. This should always be checked responsive. You do want it to be responsive. You don't need to worry about that one. Lazy load. Okay, I'll show you what this is. So lazy load, I have it on the Word is What page. Okay, so I told you I've got 400 photos on here, right? That's a lot. So the user doesn't see this one. So the page doesn't load his photo until I click over, okay? That way the page loads a lot faster because typically, when someone comes to this page, they're looking for their fallen, comrade or their son or daughter that they've lost. So they're not necessarily going through this whole gallery. So that's why I have this on lazy load. And also, like I said, there's 400 pictures on this page, so it's a big page. So that's what lazy load is. Auto height, again, you should just be uploading all slides the same size. Let's see. This has to do with transitions. We can skip that one. Let me go to. Okay. So transition styles. So this one, I'm pretty sure is like a bounce back or fade back or something like that. But this one is just sliding over. Oh, did you guys see that? See how it rewinds? Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Okay. And this one doesn't really have a transition. So if you want your transition on, you would click this, and then you click your transition style. Okay, so yeah, backslide. That's what that one's doing. It can go down, fade up, and all that stuff. If you click this and you don't select that you want to use it, it won't play. Okay, so just note that. All right, carousel design. Okay, so if you want it to be full width, so if you're doing like a really big page slider, you would select this one. You can select the carousel height. The background color is just like designing a custom template. But for IEW people, let's stick to this beautiful assortment of gray that we have on the Army GitHub. Such a beautiful palette. Anyways, so you've got the carousel background color, you've got the item background color, font color. This is something to consider if you're doing photos, or you might have to change this up a little bit and play with it. Okay, item caption max width. That is, I'll show you. Okay, so this is my image caption, right? And I've got this set on 100%, right? because I want it to be the full width. If I have it start at 50, if I set the max width to 50, then this person's name and everything below it, all of this would shift over to 50% halfway past the image, okay? So that's just kind of more of like a look and feel kind of thing. The padding is what you want for the spacing, so not the spacing like, how do I explain it? Not this spacing, but this spacing in between the letters and the border, okay? You can put in some high-speed custom CSS in here, but if you don't, it's fine. Like you don't have to do all of this because it's just going to default to the theme stuff. So we'll skip that for now. You don't need that. You don't need that. Okay. So if you have selected that you want your links to be buttons, you would design them here. So you can do the default button, which is what it shows here. Okay. But you see how when I hover over it, it's white? Ah. So the default is clear, and then the hover is white. All right. Let's see, font color, border, size, radius. You've got all kinds of stuff, okay? And then you can design the bullets here, so how big, or where you want them, and then how big you want them, and then what color you want them to be, okay? If you have selected a progress bar instead of the bullets, you would put the position here, the color and the fill color, and then you would do your navigation buttons. So like the next, previous, these little arrows, you can design them here too. If you want them to be thick, thin, you know, where you want them, etc. Okay, so here's the animation. So if you set all of this stuff, it's not going to work unless you unclick this, okay? So you've got disable animation, but you need to unclick it, okay? So let's see, like this one, let's do bounce out. Ooh, cool. How about Jello? Yeah, that's fun. That's funny too. And this is how long you want it to shake. And the delay is how much time between when the user sees the text and when the animation starts. And then, okay, well, how do I explain this one? I'll think of a different way to explain that, guys. Okay, so let's look at, so we've got our slides, we've done our carousel. Now we need to update or update and stay or update, and then you would refresh the page, okay? So let's go to my home slider. That'll be super fun. I have so many. All right, so let's add a slide to my home slider. We'll add the news one. Okay, so I clicked slide, add new slide, and I'm gonna click the photo. I'm pretty sure I have them saved as frontline. Where's the banner? Oh, Pat's been uploading things on home.army.mil. Oh no. Let me type in slider, see what I find. Sorry, I guess I could have found this faster. Oh, here we go. Frontline slider. Okay, so I don't have any captions or anything like that. So what I do is I come down here and I click slide to go, internal, and I choose my page. And I click news, active. I'm pretty sure that's all I edit. Yep, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so then I'll click, and that's the front line, yep, I'll click update and stay. Okay, and I'm gonna refresh, All right. So now I've got 4 bullets down here, and I've got the front line. Ooh, yeah, so cool. All right, guys, that is a really, really quick introduction to the Whale Owl Carousel. I know that there is a lot of coding and well, it might look like a lot of coding to you from out there, but um, really all of it is optional. And if you need help with it, you can simply comment on comment in the comments below or email me, and I will help you. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in.